We'll open up Aggie Baseball. Game 1 tonight. The initial report, 5 Aggies are on it. And, well, there's good news in it. Nico Partita went from out to questionable, and Boston Kellner went from out to probable. And Richard Zane covers Aggie Baseball for TexAgs, and you've heard me say many times, the TexAgs reporters are absolutely phenomenal at what they do, whether it's a Richard Zane or a Kay Nagley or Luke Evangelos or Ryan Broniger. And Richard did something very simple. He didn't just send out the initial report. He actually also sent out the definitions of the availability status definitions. And we think we know them. And it's little things like the reminder, what they mean exactly in the SEC. Because we know, but sometimes it never hurts. Just the little subtle things. I love little things like that. So in the SEC, questionable, uncertain to play due to injury conditions, probable, likely to play, barring any setbacks. And we probably could guess it. And I know for me, looking at it every week, I know 96, but the reminders are always cool. And it's little things like that Richard did, I think, are awesome. He also put a note in, which I didn't know, which is cool. But A&M has 5 players on the injury report. Questionable Partita, probable Kellner. There's 3 that are out, and Aiden Sims. And we were told by Michael early on Wednesday that Sims was out for the weekend, and Josh Stewart and Caden McCoy have been out basically for the year. But the Aggies have 5 players on that, the initial report, the player availability report. They're tied for the most in the league with Alabama and Mizzou. So if you're wondering, how's that for perspective? A&M is tied for the league most on the injury report, availability report, Alabama and Mizzou. Alabama, 2 players out, 1 questionable, 2 probable, and Missouri have 5 that are just out. So I like the little notes. I like the perspective. 5 A&M, is that too high, too low, in the mid? Nope. Tied for the most. By the way, that Missouri team at 5 out, they're taking on the Longhorns this weekend. Moving on, A&M Mississippi State game 1 tonight. Ethan Darden gets a start for the Aggies. Thomas Valencius from Mississippi State, 8-2 with the 2.52 is Tomas. And D1 Baseball lists him as the number 5 starting pitcher this year in all of college baseball. Dylan Valentis, the Longhorns, is number 4. Florida's Aiden King is number 3. So 3 of the top 5 are SEC, and the Aggies will face one of the top 5 pitchers in all of D1 baseball, according to D1 Baseball tonight, Friday game 1, as the Aggies will have 3 bullpen games set up for the weekend. Hey, we know the challenge ahead. We've talked about it all week. Win 1 game men, just to stay in that top 16, just hope, because they're 11, entering the weekend, RPI, just to keep everything comfortable. It is a true challenge ahead, because the challenge isn't just, it's Mississippi State. It's having not a single weekend starter. It's having Aiden Sim out, your bona fide weekend guy. The injuries offense, injuries defense. And you don't want to enter the postseason, i.e. NCAA tournament, with health issues and losing 3 straight series. This will be an interesting 3 days to watch as the Aggies head to the SEC tournament. Tonight, I took a look. They always list the fireworks, and they list the promotions. And it says that Friday, SEC Friday night fireworks, and then Saturday is senior day. So I guess tonight's the night that has no promotion. So if you're planning ahead, you're going to the Friday night game. By the way, 6 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock Friday. And do not forget, in case you have an old schedule, don't get caught, the Saturday game weeks ago, or at least last week, got moved to 11 a.m. for TV. The Saturday game is 11 a.m. for TV. Remember that. So 6 tonight, 6 tomorrow, 11 a.m. on Saturday. Friday night fireworks, end of the game on Friday night, and Saturday is senior day. You will hear all the games. You've heard Aggie Baseball all season long. You'll hear Aggie Baseball all postseason long right here on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You can hear Aggie Baseball on the Zone app. You can hear Aggie Baseball at radioaggieland.com. Oh, and you can hear Aggie Baseball by telling Alexa, play Zone 1150. Be prepared, okay? That's all. Some more Aggie Baseball kind of notes and thoughts. I mentioned D1 Baseball had the pitcher tonight for the Mississippi State Tomas is number 5 in all. Gavin Grahovic is the number 2 first baseman in all of baseball, according to D1 Baseball. SEC Power Rankings Baseball, I saw that the Aggies are listed at 4. Currently, if you take a look at the SEC standings, A&M and Texas are tied for 2, 4.5 back of Georgia. SEC Power Rankings, and according to On3, SEC Country have the Aggies at 4, and they're behind Bama, Auburn, Georgia. They lost the series to Georgia and Auburn, so you got to be no better than 3. And Aggies are tied for 2 in the actual standings, and it's all the same tier. It's all the same zip code. They have the Longhorns behind them, which is accurate, beat them head-to-head. Florida at 6, Arkansas 7. Mississippi State, the Aggies' opponent for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, final weekend of the regular season, is 8, while the Aggies are 4. But we know that the challenge right now is not just the opponent. The Aggies are fighting their injuries on offense, devastated pitching-wise by injuries. So there's more than just an X and an O and the matchups of lefty-righty. There's so much more going on right now with Aggie Baseball, if we're just being honest about what's going on. I will say, you've heard others say, what's going on with Aggie Baseball is actually really incredible right now if you take into account everything that's going on, from the early injuries to the pen with Stewart and McCoy, and now the offensive injuries to be in this position, which almost hosts a super, definitely a regional, and finishing anywhere in the top 4, because they could be 2, 3, 4 realistically, I guess, when the smoke clears this weekend in the SEC, is pretty incredible, all things considered. Aggie Baseball. D1 Baseball this week. I guess it was Wednesday. Today's Thursday. Maybe it was Tuesday. I didn't write it down on my hand. Did their postseason regional projections. Yes, they have the Aggies hosting, but they've got them at 8. They got them super regional hosting, D1 Baseball does. They would be paired with Southern Miss, who would be the 9. Understand something. Every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then next week during the conference tournaments, every day, you could see this fluctuation for A&M, because they can be, probably the high end is 8 or 9 or 10. I think there's 3 spots we could see them finish, 8, 9, or 10. They absolutely can host a super. Top 8 national seeds, what I'm saying. And they could be 9, 10, maybe even 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. And 3 of those are not super hosting. This Mississippi State sets up their entire national seed or not. 2 out of 3, I think, is necessary, mandatory. If they take 2 out of 3, I think they're a favorite. But D1 Baseball, let's just stick to what they think. They got A&M as 8 and a national seed. They've got the Longhorns at 6. Longhorns play Missouri this weekend. The worst team in the SEC. A team that has 5 players on the out list on the IL for this series. So the Longhorns are going to get fat, as A&M's going to have to figure it out for 3 days. Longhorns have had an interesting couple of weeks. 2 weekends ago, they took 2 out of 3 from the Mississippi State team the Aggies are going to face this week. And when we visit with Cedric Golden, I'm going to try and get a scouting report from Mississippi State, because the Longhorns faced them all 2 weekends ago. But then, last weekend, the Longhorns went on the road, lost the series at Tennessee, and there was a lot of unhappiness in the Longhorn community, not just because they lost, which is disconcerting, obviously, but how they lost. How they lost, I think, without a doubt. So Yeah, Cedric knows a thing or two about the Bulldogs. Again, it was just 2 weekends ago when the Longhorns faced them. Back to the D1, the super regional pairings. The number one overall easy call is UCLA paired with Oregon. G-Tech is the 2 seed paired with Kansas, who's never hosted a regional before, and they're the 15. And they get Nebraska. And that is see, you want storylines? Kansas and Nebraska together in baseball, but in Kansas, that's one of those small, no one will care, but that's beautiful. Georgia as the 3, and they get paired with Oregon State. Auburn's your 4 with West Virginia. North Carolina is the 5 with Mississippi State as the 12. Longhorns at the 6 and Florida State 11. The only way the Longhorns end up at 6 and not kind of as 4-3 is if somehow they can lose the series to Mizzou. I'm suspicious about that projection. Bama's the 7, and this is the hose job pairing of them all, but Bama 7 with Florida at 10. Ooh, that's the only one that's SEC versus SEC, and Bama, Florida. Ooh, that would be juicy. And then I mentioned A&M with Southern Miss. A&M with Southern Miss. And Southern Miss's 2 is OU. Oklahoma. An A&M OU rematch, because that was the opening SEC series at Bluebell Olson in a super. Because I love the A&M OU series. That was all, 1 and 2 run games with A&M winning in the mid. And it was a very tense one because it was 2 offenses just bombing away. That would be a pretty awesome super. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, look, it's regional projections. It's for entertainment purposes. I like a lot of the storylines. Like UCLA, Oregon, they played 2 to 3 weekends ago. It was the only Big Ten. I got to say that with a straight face, right? The only Big Ten series that meant anything this year, and it was chippy. They did not like each other. I mean, that would be maybe the Florida, Bama, I'm an SEC guy, would be the number one storyline, and UCLA, Oregon would just be off the chain. I think that's a 30 years ago saying. A&M, OU, that'd be your top 3. And right there, that's enough storylines for me. Last 4 in TCU, Kentucky, Texas State, the Bobcats. See, that's schools of interest to us that we know in our universe. TCU, Kentucky, Texas State are all in the last 4 in line. Remember the Louisiana schools that we used to see at Bluebell Olson all the time? First 4 out, Louisiana. We've seen the Raging Cajun how many times? And Louisiana Tech, we've seen from time to time too, and La Tech. Let's grab ourselves a timeout. When we come back, it's Rusty Burson time. Aggie historian and author Rusty Burson will join us. That's on the D4 Land Services hotline when we return. The Louie Bellina Show, Thursday, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
Every Monday at noon, Mitch Lyde of The Athletic joins the Louie Bellina Show to talk college football and college baseball.
So let's go!
Listen right here.
Right here.
Listen in on the Zone.
On the Zone.
It is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. They do residential and commercial services, and it is an abbreviated Thursday, but we are going to hang out with the usual suspects. I'm talking about the good guys. One of them, I would say, is Rusty Burson. He is an Aggie historian, and he's an author, and he joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline Thursdays today at 11:20. And if you need forestry, mulching, pond construction, or a custom metal building from the ground up, go check out d4landservices.com, d4landservices.com. Rusty, my brother, how's your universe?
I'm good, Lou. Just been warming up in case they need me tonight.
Well, at this point, the 12th man story could come true by Sunday. You know, Michael Early goes out to the pen, realizes there's nobody, and up from the stands, he'll grab a fan who'll take the pen in the 9th in a 15-15 game.
Well, you know, I used to throw batting practice to my kids in the Little League, so I've got that experience going for me, and shoulder's not what it used to be, but hey, I can find the strike zone every once in a while.
I used to throw wiffle ball as a kid. I mean, I know in Texas that's not a thing, but I played wiffle ball as a lad. So if they need a wiffle ball reliever, I got a mean wiffle ball throw. So that's about it. Other than that, don't look at me, Coach.
Yeah, well, I think back to all those years that I coached my son and how many batting practices I threw to the entire team. It's like, no wonder my rotator cuff is not what it should be anymore.
Well, and now you realize if you'd have saved it, you could have pitched this weekend. Instead, you're throwing BP to your Little League kid team. Rusty, one of the things this week that's dawned on me, and sometimes it's hard, I say for us, it's the fan. I'm a fan. I'm an expert at nothing. I'm a fan too. Isn't it incredible that Aggie Baseball is second in the league? That Aggie Baseball is, like 10 in the RPI, so regional hosting on the fringe of national seed, all things considered?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic year. I mean, all things considered. I mean, even if they were to not be a top 8 national seed, I mean, still based on where they were last year, yeah, I mean, everyone would have taken this for sure. You start the year, you're like, hey, I'm going to go into the last series of the year with a great chance to be a top 8 national seed. Yeah, we're going to have a little... we have some injuries, but we're going to be just fine. We're going to definitely be postseason. I don't think anybody would have not signed up for that.
No, not at all. And not just participant; they'll be a favorite to advance from the regional too. I mean, in my head, I think they're a super regional team, not just a host. There's some that host, and you go, good for them. They hope they enjoy their moment. So I know all are supposed to be favored. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
All are supposed to be, but that ain't right. Only 12 of 16 tend to advance.
Look, I mean, you've got a chance here, and it's like, obviously, you'd rather not be dealing with the injuries that you're dealing with at this point of the year. I mean, you never want the injuries, right? Ever. But you're just on the verge of in the postseason, and whether it's Major League Baseball or college baseball or high school baseball, it's about getting into the dance, getting into the playoffs, getting into the postseason, and then you're going to take your chances. And so, it really sucks that Aiden's not going to pitch this weekend, and probably not in Hoover. But somebody else is going to have to step up, and we see it all the time. I mean, just because they've had some tough outings doesn't mean you can't be on, right? I mean, you just never know. I mean, work, get in the strike zone, don't walk people, take your chances on a good defensive team.
Well, this was Aiden Sims' first year starting. He was supposed to hit the wall somewhere, and I hope the tiredness is nothing more than essentially that. I hope there's not an actual injury versus the expected first year starting fatigue.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing is they're young guys, and so they bounce back quickly. I mean, it's not like I get concerned. You and I both follow Major League Baseball very closely, so when Nathan Eovaldi says he's got tightness, that's a whole different thing than when Aiden Sims says it, right? I mean, because they're younger, they bounce back more quickly, and so you don't fear that the same way. But I don't know what the level of the injury is, but they got to have him in the postseason. So if he doesn't pitch this weekend and doesn't pitch next weekend, hopefully he'll be ready for that regional.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned Nathan Eovaldi. He missed his start over the weekend. He's not going to start in the Houston series either. I mean, that's kind of his min. And he's not on the IL, is he? Why is he not on the IL?
I don't know. Last night they were saying that he could start on the Sunday game of the Houston series, so that's still a possibility, but I don't know. I mean, you don't want to take a chance with an older guy like that. So, I mean, it's May. It's like a long Major League season. So it's totally different than what we're looking at, towards the end of the year for a guy like Aiden, because this is the last regular season series of the year.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Every time I've tried to talk about Aggie baseball this weekend, you can't because of injuries. Yeah. Like offensively, we're not sure what it's going to be. No clue what they're doing. I mean, the only thing I know is it'll be Darden into Sadeo, and then all bets are off for everything after that for 3 straight days.
Well, it's an opportunity for the other guys to step up. I mean, you hear that all the time. But who thought Ben Royo would have had the series he did last weekend, right? So with every injury, there's an opportunity for someone else to step up, and you see it all the time. An unexpected hero just can step up, and maybe it's Travis Chestnut. Who knows? I mean, watched the news last night on the story about Travis, getting yet another chance to play this year for A&M. What a dream come true. So there's a lot of feel-good stories on this team, and I'm not going to we'll be there this weekend, and look forward to hanging out with you on Saturday as well.
Yeah, Rusty, I was going to say, for those that don't know, it's not like there was a press release on this. Rusty and I are going to the Saturday game. Rusty was like, hey, do you want to wake up extra early on your only day off? And, and I'm like, hey, there's nothing I dream of more than the only day I don't set an alarm clock than to wake up and go to Aggie Baseball at 11 a.m. watching a 15-14 game with neither team throwing any pitcher they care about. So, yeah, Rusty, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Very much so.
We're going to have an awesome time. So I'm going to the Saturday game with Rusty. Did you see the D1 regional projections for this weekend? They got A&M as an 8, the last national seed, paired with Southern Miss. I just get thrilled when any Aggie team in the postseason gets paired with anybody we don't know. It's so rare that it's special.
Yeah. No, I would take that in a heartbeat. That would be fantastic. I mean, 8 seed would be just ideal. You love the ability to host the super regional if you get through the regional. I mean, that's what you want, and we've seen it before that these things have a way of working out. Even if you're not a top 8 national seed, that doesn't mean you're out of the realm of possibilities of still hosting a super, because upsets happen, right?
Oh, no, all the time. And here's A&M's field, by the way. What Cincinnati's the 2. UTSA, Nasty Evil, they won the Austin Regional last year. And Binghamton is the 4.
No, don't know a lot about them.
No, nobody does. That's just part of the charm. But that UTSA, man, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
No.
And then here's the one that's evil. Over in that number 9 Southern Miss, OU is there too.
Very interesting.
So anyway, and one more thing for you, because we've been talking about Aggie baseball in the draft. I don't know what's going on today, but I saw The Athletic updated their top 100, and then ESPN. No. Keith Law, who used to be Prospectus, who used to be ESPN, and currently with The Athletic, did a mock draft. So when he does one, I pay attention. Here's what's the update for you.
Okay.
Number 1 is still the shortstop from UCLA. He's going to be the number 1. Nothing in the universe will change that.
Right.
4 Aggies made the top 100. Chris Hakopian at number 21.
Okay.
And they talk about, man, he's hitting 375 and his strikeout rate less than 10%. Gavin Grahovic is at 39. And
that seems low to me, but okay.
Well, for him, and it's funny, they deep dive on them now. And he's still trying to get off of his 2024 stats, where he struck out 95 times, 29% strikeout rate, 32% of the time, and it was one of the bottom 5% in all of baseball. And 25, torn, only played 6 games. This year is erasing some of it, but he's still trying to run away from his 24 season. And that's what seems to be hurting him. Now, this year, he has cut his strikeout rate in half, 14.5%.
Yeah, I mean, based on this year, I mean, that's what I'm looking at. It's like, come on now. It's like, it's what you do lately, right? I mean, isn't that the...
I agree, but that's in a scouting report they have.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I get it, but still 39 seems low to me.
Caden Sorrell is 63.
And that seems really low, too.
And here's the scouting report. This year's version of Jace Lavalette, or maybe Vance Honeycutt without the elite D. Sorrell has huge power that he's gotten to plenty this year, ranking in the top 10 in homers, and a huge propensity to whiff with a 32% whiff rate on the season. And they say that he's going to be a right fielder, and he'll be a plus right fielder.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, I know Keith Law I have a lot of respect for, but it still seems like, of course, a lot of this is probably my own bias too, because I get too close to the team that I follow every day, right? So yeah, I mean, I respect the opinion. I just don't know if I would agree with it.
So 21 was Hakopian, and he's a top 10 pick in every mock, everything I've seen. I think there's one that had him at 14, but you get it. Hakopian 21, Grovic 39, Sorella 63. Do you want to guess who the fourth Aggie is in the top 100?
Yeah, but it's going to be I'm going to guess Tadeo.
Yep. And I think it was in the 90s. I think it was 93. And they keep it simple, like, yeah, we know his ERA is high, but he throws a ton of strikes. And, quote, someone who thinks the velocity will return, and he's going to be a back-end starter, like a fourth starter. Because what he's doing already with what he has, he's still coming back from Tommy John. Once the velo comes back all the way, bam, he's a fourth or fifth starter in the MLB.
He's a left-handed guy, so, I mean, those guys are valued, especially if you got, velocity as a left-handed pitcher. So, yeah, I'm not surprised he's in the top 100. I just assume the Rangers not take a chance on him.
Okay. And Rusty cannot make a stronger statement in the world right there. Because if he's quoting the Rangers to you, there's nothing nearer and dearer in the sports Aggies, but in his heart than Rangers.
I just maybe a little too close to the situation. I've seen the Rangers draft some. Yeah, I'd love to see him get Grahovic and something like that. That'd be fantastic. Or love to see the Astros get. If the Astros and Rangers load up on Aggies, I'm just fine with that.
Always remember the Rangers had Ken Boyd 10 years past his prime pitching for them. So that's
I've got a lot better ones than that. I mean, I can just go through the litany of people they've tried to run out there and way past their prime. But hey, sometimes it works.
Hey, quick timeout, come back. Let's talk about the rest of the maroon white world.
Let's do it.
Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author on the D4 Land Services hotline. D4 Land Services. Land is in the title, right? D4 Land Services. They can fix your land. They can clear your land. They can help excavate your land. And they do more. Go find out everything at d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. This is the Louie Bellina Show. Thursday on The Zone.
Your home for the Houston Astros is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. I sit inside the Charles Schwab studio. It is the Thursday edition. It's an abbreviated edition, somewhere about 12:50. We'll join the Astros in progress. At 12 o'clock, Cedric Golden of the Austin American Statesman. 12:35, Bubba Bush of BVMMA and Fitness. But right now, and that's what matters is the now, Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author, joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Rusty, did you see that Devon Achane got the 4-year extension, $64 million, and he is now the third highest paid running back in the NFL?
Yeah, fantastic for him. I'm thrilled for him. I did see that, and nowadays so few teams invest that kind of money in running backs. You and I old enough to remember that when running backs would often go in the first round, and they were like the most prized draft picks. I mean, going back to when I remember when the Cowboys pulled off the coup to get Tony Dorsett, right? I mean, that was just a huge deal. It's very rare that teams, invest that kind of money. They don't. It doesn't seem like very often that they invest first-round picks. And I know that Love was the first-round pick this last year, but few and far between. So good for A-Chain.
Yep, $32 million guaranteed, $16 million average makes him the average, and bonuses could push it past $68 million. Saquon Barkley, the highest paid. Christian McCaffrey, second. Devon Achane, third. And we knew he was special. We knew he was magical. It's just one of those things when, third highest paid. I didn't know he was that special. I knew he was very special. I knew he was awesome. Congrats to him. Le'Veon Moss. That's the other side of the coin.
Yes.
And every second of every snap you saw him play, you knew he was an NFL every down back. And to see the injuries never give him that chance. We knew what it took away from his time at A&M, but never even get a chance at the NFL. I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, me too. That sucks for him. I mean, but that's the nature of this game, unfortunately. And so for everyone, it's like you're exactly right. It's just total opposites there. Just one you're thrilled for and one you just kind of agonize for. But, I go back to like my good friend Terrence Murphy, who always dreamed about playing in the NFL. Got there with a great team and played 2 games and was nearly paralyzed and never played again. You just never know. And so every game that you play is a blessing. And fortunately, Le'Veon made some money. In the old days, he wouldn't have, but at least he made some money playing college football.
He made his NIL. My understanding is they brought him undrafted, but he got like 250, 300K, somewhere in there. Better than zero, plus the NIL money, which he probably got more than that in NIL, right?
Yeah, you would think.
So he has something, hopefully smart-wise, all that good stuff to get him a start with. And the Aggie Network.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about that, I mean, most of these guys, to get $250,000 to start, I would have enjoyed that. I think, I've told you before, I got my first salary down in Galveston was $17,500. That was my salary, and that was before I knew that they were actually going to take this FICA stuff out of my paycheck. So yeah, it's $250. I think he can get a nice start on life.
My start in life, I'm not going to go through my whole life story right now, but that would take a couple hours and a lot of whiskey. But I didn't know what I was going to do. My start to life was horrific because I spent more time just figuring out what I was going to do and then doing. So that was my start to life.
Yeah. So I salute Le'Veon. He'll be just fine.
I saw this list of the all-time A&M passing leaders in touchdowns. You're the Aggie. Who is the all-time passing leader touchdowns A&M?
Man, Ryan Tannehill?
No, he's number 7.
Wow, that's way
at 42.
down the list.
And you're not even close. So here's the top 3. Johnny Manziel is 3rd with 63.
Okay.
Gerard Johnson is 2nd with 67.
That is crazy.
And Kellen Mond is the all-time passing touchdown leader with 71.
That is crazy because most of his career, people were like, God, can we just move on from Kellen Mond? But he was really good his final year when he had an offensive line, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And he people forget he started for 4 years, too. So it's like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me now, but how quickly I can forget, right?
Yeah, it's not uncommon. Because the thing with Mon is we spent 3 years wondering why he wasn't better, and the 4th year he's like All-American NFL quarterback.
And it had a lot to do with the offensive line.
Absolutely. Doesn't it always?
Yeah, I mean, he was running for his life for the first 3 years, It's a whole different thing when you can sit back there with a little time. And that's the thing about Johnny most people forget is like, yeah, Johnny was incredible. But if you just go back and you look at the highlights, he's got 4 days to make a pass. I mean, he's just sitting there so often. He's sitting there and just kind of dancing and looking and looking and looking. And, after like 14 seconds, that's when he scrambles. I mean, it's amazing that offensive line he had. 3 first-round draft picks. So, yeah, Johnny was sensational, but he had a lot of help.
So Marcel Reed is 8th all-time at 41. Only one behind Ryan Tannehill.
The game has changed so much. So much more passing now than it was. I remember when Corey Pullig was the record holder. So, I mean... He's
5th with 47.
Oh, man. That's crazy. But he's another 4-year guy. I mean, he started about halfway through... Well, actually, it was right after the Texas Tech game, his senior year, because that was Granger's last game to start. Or Corey's freshman year in 1992.
Marcel has 2 years left if he comes back again at the end of next year. And he threw 25 touchdown passes last year. So in my simple head, and man, it's simple, he's going to throw 25 again, men. They're supposed to be passing more. It's supposed to be a more aggressive passing game. And I don't know how he doesn't throw 30. It's just 5 more if you think about it realistically, right? He throws 30. You know he's going to be at 71. And you notice I'm not really pushing or saying anything extreme, right? He threw 25 last year. They're going to be more aggressive passing. He should be a year better. Notice I didn't say All-American or win that Heisman. That would be 71. He'd be tied with Mond at the end of the year. And he just has to do better in the last 2 games. And it's 71 plus easy, actually.
Yeah, like I said, the game has changed so much. And it's amazing how the pile up statistics now, passing statistics, because for the longest time, me as the Aggie historian, I was like thinking that 10 touchdown passes in a year was pretty darn good, back in the
ancient
way,
times.
Yeah, but you think back to the way A&M was built in the 90s, and we talked about the decade of dominance. I think you were talking about it recently. It's like,
decade of excellence.
It was Greg Hill, it was Rodney Thomas, it was Leland McElroy, it was the running backs over and over again. That's how they did things. It was great defense, grind it out, run the football, run the clock, occasionally throw a pass here to the tight end or something like that, but it was certainly not wide receiver U by any means. They were not getting NFL wide receivers here for a long, long time.
No, different era, different time. Okay, that's why when I looked at this quarterback list, right, Ed Hargett is 9 at 40. And if there was a way to do an analytical projection, his 40 is equivalent probably to 150.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Because it was the 60s, and the game was just so different. Ed Hargett was a great leader. But, yeah, it was a night and day difference. And, you think about some of the guys that they had, Mike Mosley and his speed, and Gary Kubiak, who, had a long NFL career, just it didn't throw that many touchdown passes today. And where's Gary Kubiak? Does he even show up on that list?
He does not. Here's the official list. We've hit every name but like one, but here's the official list. Number 10, Kyle Allen with 33.
Wow.
Didn't he play 1 year? Am I forgetting something?
No, I think he played 2 years, but yeah, he was hurt, obviously, much of the year when Kyle Allen just got thrown under the bus. And I think he hated
every second of it, too. He was here.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
Kyle Allen's 10 at 33. Ed Hargett's 9 at 40. Marcel Reed, 8 at 41 with 2 potential years left. Ryan Tannehill at 42. Reggie McNeil, 44, 6th. Here's the top 5.
Okay.
Corey Pulig is 5 at 47. Kevin Murray is 4th at 48. Now, we go up a whole tier, because I just said 4th is 48, right?
Right.
Johnny Manziel at 63.
Wow.
See that gap?
What a jump. Johnny played 2 years.
That's right.
Kevin Murray played 3 years. Corey Pulig played 4. And Johnny played 2.
Yep. Gerard Johnson, we already said, 2nd at 67 in the
who
all-time.
Also had injury issues.
Yeah. He's another one that never got to finish his career, was Gerard.
Well, Tannehill replaced him because of the injuries he had.
That's back when A&M was it 3 years in a row or 3 out of 4 where the quarterback didn't get to finish the season.
Yeah, because Tannehill started against Texas Tech, and here's again the way my mind worked. It was October 2010. He started against Texas Tech, and he set the single-game passing record against Texas Tech in his first start.
Well, that's a historian, and you have all these dates, and you know the moments, man.
Yet I can't remember 2 years ago.
Well, I can't remember 2 weeks ago. You're still way ahead of me, at least. Seriously, you're still way ahead of the game.
Here's the sick part of this, is that it was October 30th, 2010. I just know it. It just sticks out in my head because that was also the day that the Rangers played their first World Series game in Arlington. So
now the truth came out. Now we know why you know that day.
It was a perfect day, and then beat Texas Tech, and the Rangers beat the Giants in the first ever World Series in Arlington. World Series game.
And we could say truly a date you'll never forget.
Never.
Ever. You'll forget your name. You'll get the old-timers disease, and you will forget your name, but you're not going to forget
Here's
that
the rest
day.
of the story, Lou. It was also my birthday, so
what?
It was a perfect day.
On that note, we will perfectly get out of Rusty's way. I'll see you Saturday morning, brother.
I'll give you a text, brother.
Yep, be good. Rusty Burson, Aggie historian, guy with an awesome birthday, joining us on the D4 Land Services hotline. That is pretty awesome, is it not? If you need your land fixed, land cleared, land excavated, d4landservices.com. Forestry, mulching, pond construction, a metal building, d4landservices.com. When we return, I got to wrap up our first hour together. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Thursday on The Zone.
You're listening to Aggieland's home for the Aggies, the Texans, and NFL Primetime. The Zone. 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show, first hour. Louie Bellina Show, Thursday, first hour, presented by CC Electric. They do free estimates, and they have military and veteran discounts. They're CC Electric. Now, still to come, 12 o'clock straight up. Cedric Golden of the Boston American Statesman. 12:35 on the ish part. Not Rusty. We just hung out with Rusty. Man, he's such a fun dude. It'll be Bubba Bush of BV MMA and Fitness. And then 12:50 ish. Astros pregame joined in progress, and that is thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. That's what's still to come. Now, before we're done here with our first hour, just call this a PSA. Programming? No, it's none of the above. It's just a reminder. You've got till Astros start to text me. Texting gives you a chance to win a $100 gift card to Honey Baked Ham. We've been doing this every day this week. This is day 4 or 5. Each day, when I go bye-bye, I then take 2 names, move you to the grand finals. Friday at 1, there'll be 10 people on that final list. How exciting. 1 of 10 chance in the end. So text me, questions, comments, opinions. Do you want to win a $100 gift card to Honey Baked Ham? And man, I told you, they got turkey, and it's awesome, but the ham, they only use the highest quality ham. 1 in 10 actually move forward for them. Slow smoke for 22 to 24 hours over a blend of hardwood chips. Honey Baked Ham is the leanest, most flavorful ham out there. Always moist and tender, no added water or juices. That's how they roll at Honey Baked Ham. So text me. You still got time. A little under an hour. Give yourself a chance. 979. I'm getting hungry quick. 979 ham or turkey. Both would be preferable. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. I'll be back with Cedric Golden on the D4 Land Services hotline.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Daryl Morey is the single most overrated executive in the history of sports. 2 conference finals in 19 seasons. Never been to the NBA finals. Postseason record 79-79. The 2 worst contracts in the National Basketball Association, and he carries himself in a way you would think he is Pat Riley and Jerry West combined.
Unsportsmanlike. Listen in weekday mornings from 5 to 8 on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.